Hello everyone, this is Isaac with Roaming Rubezel, and today I would like to go over an exercise that has really helped me understand color. So if you're like me and you struggle with getting colors right, maybe you're drawing a portrait and the colors just, I don't know, there's just something about them. Maybe the portrait you're doing doesn't look alive, or trees or water in the background of a landscape painting you're doing, there's just something off about them you can't quite put your finger on. So I really hope that this exercise helps you and maybe persuades you to try adding more color to your pieces. Because trust me, adding color is definitely worth it. So as you may know, if you're familiar with Photoshop, you can use the eyedropper tool to, to get the exact color of an image. If you want to just, a shortcut for it is just the Alt key. Well, that's what I have assigned to it. And then you just paint that color, whichever color you've grabbed, or from whatever location you have grabbed on the piece. So I can grab from this flower or these leaves. And what you can do with this eyedropper tool is just get different areas of color to just start to generate a piece. So I find that this is really important because it helped me really understand the different colors and versus what I think the colors are and what they actually are. So I have an example here of a character I drew some time ago, and for the most part, I'm pretty happy with the way the overall shape is. Like it's obviously the character who is in the picture. However, there are some issues, and those issues are, of course, the color. So in this image, you can see that on the top of his cloak, there are obviously lighter areas and darker areas, and there's shadows where the cloak folds. But what I did differently in this piece is, compared to the picture, is I focused more on just making the areas that were lighter actually like lighter. So what I did is I would say, for example, there's this green color, right? And say the color was or say the color was the red over on the right side here. So I have the red and I can paint there, but instead of, then what I would do is I would go for, then okay, well, this is lighter, so it must be the lighter. But as you can see, if I zoom in more, and you compare, they don't really, it kind of, there's just something off about it. Like it doesn't look quite right. So what I would, to improve this piece, what I would do is go in here and use the eyedropper tool to grab that color and just see, like, I went on this area and compared, see this area and this area. So you can really tell that there's a difference between these, and it makes all the difference in how your painting looks and how the light works. So I have another example here of another painting that I had done using this technique. So for the most part, you can see that this painting looks a lot different with a different color combination. See, as it's not exactly, it's not that it looks lighter, but what it really is it's like a different shade or different color. And it's not just taking the slider and moving it up. So that's where use of the eyedropper tool can really help you improve your composition of your colors and help you get more realistic results. Alright, so I've compared these two drawings, one using the eyedropper tool and one not using the eyedropper tool, but I want to step it up and have like a bit of a better comparison here. So what I've gone ahead and done is redrawn McCree in using the technique. So you can right away see just the colors are a lot more vibrant, and it just creates a more warmth and a just more realistic look to the character, closer to the original image. So what you may have noticed is, I mean, it's pretty obvious, I've been doing most of this tutorial in Photoshop, but I want to make this video a bit more accessible. So what I've done is both these characters were originally drawn in Sketchbook Pro. So if you don't know, Sketchbook Pro is a free program that is pretty excellent. So in the next part of the video, I'm going to cover my process of drawing this the new version of McCree on the right, and just giving techniques that I used along the way. And yeah, so let's jump into it. Just one more thing before we get into the rest of the video. I want you guys to make sure when you're selecting an image for this exercise, you pick an image with a high resolution. This will just make it easier for you to create the results you're looking for. I would suggest maybe a website like pixels.com. They generally have images that are of a high resolution and would work well for the exercise. It's pretty normal to be apprehensive when starting a piece like this, but what I want you guys to do is just relax and just get some color down and kind of fill out a basic map of the character that you have chosen to do the exercise with. And then I want you to think of it going over a second time and carving out the detail and just adding more to the piece. You might have to go over a few times before you get the desired result. Throughout the painting, you may have noticed that I tend to rearrange stuff and take things apart. This is all part of my process of getting the right proportion. You can use different areas adjacent to the area you're working on to adjust proportion and just to make things fit together nicely. As you guys are watching the speed paint, I want you to pay careful attention to the way I'm organizing my layers menu. If you will notice, I'll have larger sections of my painting divided into different layers. This is really important because it can really speed up your workflow when editing desired sections. It is also very, very important that when you create a layer, you name it appropriately. I can't tell you the number of times I've had to go back over every layer just to find the exact point that I wanted to work on.
Alright guys, that concludes the instructional part of the video. If you try the exercise out yourself, feel free to tag me on social media. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a nice rest of your day.